Hello photographers, today I'm going to show you how to set up all the flash gear you bought if you followed the flash buying guide video, which you can check out right here. Now to start, we're going to work with the light stand, and I actually have two different light stands. One is your typical style of light stand, which is how basically every light stand is going to work, but I also have my preferred stand, which is the Luma Pro LP605 compact stand, which opens up a bit differently than a normal light stand. So we'll start with the traditional light stand, which has your different screw locks on the side. And the first screw lock, your bottom screw lock, is what releases the legs themselves. And when you release that, you can expand the legs so that it will stand up. And then these, however many screw locks you might have on the side, will raise the tripod up to whatever its maximum height might be. So you can go as high or as low as you need to, depending on what you're trying to do with the shot. So from right here, we need to now add the umbrella bracket. And the umbrella bracket is what allows you to both attach the flash to your stand, but also attach the umbrella and adjust how the flash is aimed. So this is the dot line umbrella bracket that I prefer, but regardless of the bracket that you have, there's going to be an end that has what's called a cold shoe on it. And the cold shoe is where you put the flash. The other end should have an opening that goes over the end of your tripod, and then a screw of some sort that you're going to tighten. And this secures the umbrella bracket to the stand itself. Now, because this stand is a cheaper stand, you can see that the umbrella bracket is actually a little bit wobbly because the mount itself is a little bit wobbly. That's why if you can afford to spend more money on a better quality stand, it's worth doing it. But at the same time, if a stand like this is all you can afford, it will still get the job done. So once you have your bracket on, now you can attach your flash. And to attach your flash, you just take it, and I've got the Neewer TT560, which is one of the flashes that I recommended right here, and you just slide it into the cold shoe like so. But here's the super important part about this. You don't just slide it in and then leave it, because if you do that, it's just going to fall out and break because it's going to hit the ground. You have to tighten the flash down, and there's two types of locks on your flashes. The TT560 has a screw lock, which just screws down to tighten against the cold shoe so that it will stay in the mount. The other type of lock is the lock that the Luma Pro LP180 has, which is a pressure lock. So again, you slide it in, but now you have this little lock that you just push over, which slides a little thing down and creates pressure against the cold shoe, again, to hold it in place so it won't fall. Now, once you have your flash on here, you can put the umbrella on, but I want to make it clear that you don't always have to shoot with the umbrella. The umbrella is one of the tools you can use to change how your light looks, but often I actually don't shoot with an umbrella. I shoot with my flash just like this. Now, you might be wondering, why should I buy an umbrella bracket if I'm not going to use an umbrella? Because if you don't have an umbrella bracket, you can't do things like this, which allows you to change how you position your flash and aim it in a more precise fashion. See, if you don't have an umbrella bracket, most of your tripod stands have a 1/4-20 mount on the top. You can actually mount your flash to the tripod without an umbrella bracket, because every flash comes with one of these, which is a flash foot. And on the bottom of the flash foot will be a 1/4-20 tripod mount female end. And if you attach that to your stand, like so, you can then put your flash in there, screw lock it down just like you would on the bracket, and then you have your flash. But the problem with this is the only adjustments you can make are whatever adjustments that are allowed on the head. And that means if you want to point it down at an angle, for instance, if you want it way up here, you can't aim it down at your subject if your subject's down below. So that's why an umbrella bracket is incredibly useful even if you're not shooting with an umbrella. So let me get that umbrella bracket back on real quick. And now we'll attach the umbrella. So on your bracket somewhere, there's going to be a little hole, and that hole is where the shaft of your umbrella goes. Now, umbrellas are pretty self-explanatory, right? You open up the umbrella, and you use it to block the rain if you want, but this is a photography umbrella. So instead, you put the shaft through that hole, and then you tighten down the lock in order to lock the umbrella in place. And once you've done that, now your umbrella and your flash are secure, and you can aim the umbrella and the flash, adjust the height, and do all sorts of things with it. So that's how you set that stuff up. But I'm going to take the umbrella out so that you can actually see what I'm doing here. But we need to do one more thing, which is attach the triggers. Now, if you purchased the Yongnuo YN563 or 564 flash, you actually don't have to attach a trigger because the trigger is built inside of the flash. But I'm not using those triggers. And if you buy any other trigger setup where you have a trigger that goes on the camera and a receiver that goes with the flash, then you have to hook these things up. So you can start, first of all, before you even hook these up, by turning your triggers on and making sure that your trigger and your receiver are on the same channel, because just about every trigger set you'll buy can change the channel, which will allow you to make sure that you're not interfering with another photographer if you both happen to be using the same triggers. So you need to make sure that they're on the same channel, and if you're by yourself, it doesn't matter what channel they're on. I have mine set to channel 9, and I already know they're on the same frequency. So the trigger goes on the camera, and my particular trigger slides into the hot shoe like this, and just like the flash, it has a screw lock that locks down to hold it in place. And once you have your trigger on the camera, you can turn it on. And on the Pocket Wizards, I just press and hold this mode button right here until it turns on. Then you want to attach the receiver to the flash, and you do that via the sync port on the flash. So on this Luma Pro, it has a number of different sync ports, but the most common sync port is this one right here, which is called the PC sync port. And your triggers should come with some sort of a sync cable. This end is the PC sync end, and what you do is you plug that right into the side of the flash like so. Some PC sync ports, like on the Luma Pro, actually allow you to screw this little lock in so that the cord can't be pulled out until you unlock it, but not all flashes allow you to do that. And then the other end plugs into your trigger, which will typically have what's called a monophone plug in it, and the Pocket Wizard has the plug right here. Now, I usually have this lanyard on and I just hang it over the edge of my flash. Depending on your triggers, you might need to devise a different way for your trigger to be mounted or hang somewhere. What you do not want to do is just let it hang from the cord like that, because this is going to put stress on your cord and on the ports on both your flash and your trigger, and you don't want to add additional stress. So I always hang my trigger over one of the knobs so that the lanyard is holding the weight of the trigger rather than the cable. And once you've got that done, you turn on your flash, and depending on your flash, you may have a power button or a power switch, and then you turn on your trigger. Now, once they're on, you can take a picture. And it's very, very simple. Once you have the trigger and the flash and everything else turned on and hooked up, it's just a matter of triggering the shutter, and the flash should fire. That is how you set up your flash equipment. Now, in the next video, I'm going to talk very briefly about how to use your flash on the camera itself. But in the meantime, if you want to learn all about flash photography and how to get the best flash photos that you can possibly get, click this link right here to check out my Understanding Flash Photography video course, which is a full course that will teach you everything you need to know to take amazing flash photos. Now, if you have any questions about how to set up your flash gear, flash photography in general, or anything else, let me know down in the comments. And then do me a favor, would you like this video and subscribe to my channel? If you really like this video, share it with your friends. But the most important thing you need to do is, flash or not, get out there and take some damn photos. I'll see you guys next week. So, I forgot to show you guys how to set up the Luma Pro stand. The Luma Pro stand is a little bit different because when you unscrew the bottom lock to let out the legs, you fold the legs down like this, rather than on the traditional tripod where you push on the thing and it spreads the legs outward. And this confuses people when they first get the Luma Pro stand, which is why I wanted to show you. After that, everything else is the same. Your screw locks release the different sections so that you can make it stand up as tall as you want. And then you mount your flash on top, just like the other. Some of the PC syncs allow you to actually screw this little lock down so the cord won't come out.